It's game week. We're excited. Certainly a ton of respect for Tulane. Know that we have a challenge on our hands going on the road, week one, with a really good team, really good opponent, potential for a hostile environment. Weather could certainly play a factor in the game, will play a factor in the game. But great opportunity for us this week to, continue to prep for Tulane, but also, focus on our team and understanding that the progress that we've made over the last year is something we're excited about. And ultimately, the things that we can control is showing up as the best versions of ourselves and make sure that all the hard work that's been put in, the successful fall camp that we've completed, shows up in our performance on Saturday.
Coach, Northwestern and Pat Fitzgerald recently announced a settlement of his lawsuit. What was your reaction to that news?
Yeah, no, I think it's good for all parties. Just from a standpoint of opportunity to look to the future, and that's ultimately where my focus is at, and our team's focus is at, is just making sure that we're positioned for a great day on Saturday.
And have you talked with Coach Fitzgerald since the settlement or before then?
I've been really open about the fact that Coach is someone that I've stayed in touch with, and I'll keep those conversations between he and I. But I'm excited for Coach that this is an opportunity for him to move forward, and wish him nothing but the best.
Charlie. Coach, as you begin your Tulane prep, watching film, what stands out to you most about them?
It's interesting in a week one prep for these guys, just from a standpoint, it will be a different roster a significantly different roster than what we saw in film last year. But a lot of guys returning, that are quality, top end players, and clearly a team that is coached very well from a scheme standpoint, from a tactical standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint. They're physical, they play hard, they play together. All attributes that you attribute to a really good head coach, a really good staff, a team that understands what it looks like to win.
Dave?
You won 2 Big Ten road games last year. What, if anything, can you take from that going into a game on the road? Yeah,
it's ultimately just being able to handle any level of crowd noise that we're going to be dealing with. I think it's. I've said this previously, Dave, but I feel like we have a really mature football team right now, and that's something that should serve us really, really well on the road. But just, our preparation throughout the week will be critical, but we got to make sure that preparation continues into the transition to the flight, to the hotel, make sure that with an 11 o'clock kickoff, we understand what that looks like, something that we're really familiar with around here. But, I'm trusting and feel very confident that the maturity of this football team will show up in our preparation on the road.
Coach, since the last time you spoke, Northwestern named its captains for the upcoming season. I was hoping to just get some notes on each of those guys and what qualities you think made them and got them elected to those positions.
It's really exciting to see, having two captains that are repeat captains from last year, Carmine and Cam. Mac Uline. The thing I love about Mac, regardless if he had the title of captain or not, he's going to operate the way that he does, just from setting the tone throughout the entire team, being a great example of what the standard looks like, operating in all things within the program. An opportunity for a guy like Preston Stone, new to the program, arrived just in January, for him to be voted on by his teammates as a captain, I think is a reflection of his leadership and the relationship building that he's done. And then, to have Caleb Tiernan voted as a team captain, I think speaks not just to his performance and the credibility that, Caleb's built throughout this program over the course of the last 5 years, but him really stepping up as a leader over the course of this past offseason. That's a big deal to have a representative in our captains from the offensive line room. It's a reflection of the growth that Caleb's made. You could tell by his reaction. It meant a lot to him. I think ultimately all 5, in their own way, have done an incredible job building a ton of credibility in terms of the way that they operate, but also being willing to hold guys accountable. And our guys understand it's not a popularity vote. It's a vote of saying who are the men that we want to lead this football team. And I couldn't be more excited about those 5.
Coach, last week you talked about, kind of the offensive line position battles and most of the 4 being locked in, but really wanting to shore up that right tackle position. Since then, has anybody really emerged in kind of, as a starter for that Tulane game, and what's been going on in that position battle specifically?
Yeah, I think, Deuce McGuire and Martez Lewis both show a lot of promise. Excited about both those guys. Again, I think the lack of clarity on who's going to come out for the first series is a reflection of we think both those guys are doing some really good things right now. Whether or not we rotate at that position or, who goes out for the first series, those are things that, we'll work through as we progress throughout this week. But what I can tell you is regardless if it's Martez or Deuce out there at right tackle, we feel really good, really confident about the way those guys are playing right now.
I noticed you also didn't mention Xavier Gray, who you did last week. Does that mean that the competition is mostly down to those 2?
Xavier's going to play a lot of football for us this year. The thing I appreciate about X is his ability, his position flexibility to play both left and right. Ultimately, someone that we're going to have to lean on, count on, plan on him playing a lot of football for us this year. But, as we prep for Tulane, really see that right tackle position being owned by a combination of Deuce McGuire and Martez Lewis.
Coach, you had a controlled scrimmage on Saturday, and what are your thoughts after reviewing the film? What did you see?
It's that last scrimmage, that mock game is always really good to work out some kinks, and sometimes it's more for the coaching staff than it is the players. I mean, it's a lot of looks against Tulane. It's all scout work or look team work. But was excited about what we saw, not only out of our 1s but also our 2s. Continue to see the development of Ryan Bowe, which is really exciting. Continuing to see really good things out of some of our young safeties and, our depth at linebacker with Jack Sadowski and Yanni Karloftis. And ultimately provide a great opportunity for us just to work even the details as a staff of not only comms on game day, but what it looks like at halftime when we go into the locker room. Where are we staging things? Where's special teams meeting? Where's the offense meeting? Where's the defense meeting? New rule in college football now that not only can tablet technology come into the locker room with you, but you can project it. So, I mean, even just working through some of the, logistics of all that. But excited about where this team is at. You can also tell that this group is ready for game week. I mean, just the energy in the team room this morning for our team meeting, you can tell that this group is excited that we are officially, in game week.
Coach, you talked about how on the offensive line, you're not really sure who's going to go out there, but on the defense, it's kind of the opposite. You've known who's going to go out there for the most part, basically every position. How is that going to help, especially going on the road, knowing that you've got an experienced defense that knows their roles already and has been playing those roles all offseason? Yeah,
I think the 2 things that stand out, a lot of experience on that side of the ball, a lot of experience specifically in the D-line room, and also, a level of depth at all positions that we're really confident in. The way that we rotate on D-line, that's an absolute necessity. And sometimes early in the year when you're rotating at the D-line, you have some young guys that are cutting their teeth for the first time. That's not necessarily the case this year, which is something that needs to be a strength and needs to show up for us on Saturday. But also excited for guys like, Mac Uline, Braden Bruss, Josh Fussell, Fred Davis. I mean, guys that have played a lot of college football. Garner Wallace has been an absolute, stud throughout the course of spring ball and fall camp. Excited for him, the depth that we have in that safety room with Damon Walters. The defense is going to have to not only show up and be at our best against a really quality Tulane opponent, but also is going to have to lean into, playing with a ton of depth in a game that weather will certainly play a factor.
Coach, I mean, you have the benefit of a ton of veteran experience in your offensive line room, but how would you describe the progression you've seen out of a guy like Azomo to be able to carve out a role so early in his career here?
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive for any first year to play the amount of football that he played last year, especially against Big Ten competition. You know, we knew when he arrived that, you know, his strength levels and his, you know, football IQ were things that really stood out, but still for someone to transition as quickly as he has into playing last year and then the progression we've seen going into 2025, it speaks to his passion for the game of football. It speaks to his competitive spirit. There's many things I appreciate about Mo, but one thing that I really appreciate is the demeanor of his play. I mean, he plays with a little bit of an edge, a little bit of nasty to him, something that you're certainly looking for in an interior offensive lineman in the Big Ten.
Chris?
So Tulane's offense last year was someone that put up, I think, 40-plus points at least 5 times. I mean, when you prepare for them, what challenges do they provide to your defense right off the bat?
Yeah, they do a great job of committing to the run game. They're going to find ways to utilize their personnel. I mean, that's one thing that I think is unique about this week's prep is, you know, not certain how they're going to utilize the quarterback room, who's going to start, who's going to play. But something that certainly stands out is they want to establish the run game. You know, they're certainly going to utilize their tight ends creatively, and in the passing game, you know, they're going to find ways to stress you and create chunk plays in the passing game. Utilizing tempo as a weapon. I mean, they're well coached. They're multiple, and there's also it's very evident that they understand how to utilize the skill sets of their personnel, and it's going to be an awesome challenge for us in week 1.
Coach, you just mentioned some of the difficulty and the ambiguity of the Tulane starting quarterback spot. What challenges does that present in terms of the way you prepare this week, in terms of preparing for different guys with different styles? How do you have to prepare for that?
Yeah, you know, ultimately, I mean, we're obviously very familiar with Sully, but still going back and studying his tape from last year and, you know, taking a look at BYU film and Ball State film and making sure we're just familiar with the skill sets of every quarterback that's on the roster. And ultimately, knowing that, you know, all the guys in evaluating the film, they're well-rounded quarterbacks, but just having an understanding how they may utilize certain schemes, you know, whether it be play action pass, whether it may be quarterback run game, making sure that we have a plan that's flexible throughout 4 quarters to adjust as needed.